Okay, we are recording. So as I was telling you, today we are going to do one of the last lab that I want you to get familiar with. It's a continuation of the Cisco lab. So the topology that we are going to have is this topology. So in this topology, how many networks do we have?
Question.
How many networks do we have in this topology? How many different networks? So remember that each interface of a router is a different network, no? Which means that if I take router 3, this is one network, this is a different network, this is the Ethernet 1.1. So we have one network, and in this network we have, for example, PC7 on the Ethernet 1/1 interface of R3. So this is a first network. This is a second network. This is a third network. Now this network is shared with R2, which means that in this network we have the fast Ethernet 0/0 interface of R3 and the fast Ethernet 1/0 interface of R2. So this will be the third network. There is a fourth network here, a fifth network here, a sixth network here between R1 and R2, a seventh network here that includes PC3 and this interface of the router, Ethernet 1/0, and the last network is here. It includes PC1, PC2, and this interface of the router. Okay, if I have to do this exercise from scratch, it will take me a lot of time to just do the topology. So since you should be already familiar with the topology, if you look in Canvas, you will see that we have a zip file that already contains the project, and it is not totally done, but it is partially done. So I just bring this zip file here, and I'm going to show you how we can integrate this zip file, which have all the project, into our GNS3. So for that, I'm going to open a console, a terminal. Let me open this one. So it's with right background, you see it better. And I'm going to go to the desktop. This file, this is a zip file, it is in the desktop. First, I need to uncompress it. It's a zip file. So I can use a tool that is called unzip and put the name. So it's static Cisco Debian 2. Oh, I have one that is PC configured and one that is PC not configured. I'm going to use PC configured. The PC are already configured. So it will explode it. So as you, this directory was created. Let's see if I can put it here. Okay, you don't want me to put it here. Okay, this directory was created. So I'm going to move this directory, which is called static Cisco Debian 2 PC configured. I'm going to move it in my GNS3 directory. And in my GNS3 directory, there is something that is called a subdirectory that is called project. So I'm going to move it here. Move this directory not empty, which means that it's already there. Yeah, it's already there. So I don't know when I put it, maybe last time. Okay, it is already there. So let me open GNS3 and see the project in question. So here I'm going to go open project from disk, and it is there. So I'm going to open it, and this is the file that I need, the .gns3. And it should bring me the topology, and the PC are already configured. So this is the topology. Let me show you also the PDF file. You reopen the PDF file, this one. Okay, so it's exactly the same one. I'm going to start, for example, here we have on router 1, we have PC1 and PC2. I just want to do the configuration of the router. Let me start PC1. Let me start PC2. They should be already configured. Let me double click on PC1 while it is booting to see the boot process. Let me start PC3 also. Let me start all the PC. For example, PC4. PC5. Okay, we will start them if we need them. So as you can see, PC1 already know its name because it has been configured already for us. Let me enter as root. And let me check my IP address with ifconfig. So my IP address is 173.10/24. Let's verify that. 173.10/24. It's correct. And my default gateway must be 1731. So the way I can verify my default gateway, I can do it with this command. Let's stat -nr to see the routing table. And here I can see my default gateway. It's correctly configured. So yes, PC1 is correctly configured. It should be able to ping to PC2 because they are in the same local area network, 173.20. And I already started the PC2, no? 173.20. And as you can see, I can ping PC2. Now, I did start PC4, but I should not be able to ping PC4 because router 1 have not been powered on, for example, no? So if I try to ping PC4, the IP address of PC4 is 290.40, and it will not work. So 290.40, and it will say destination unreachable at the beginning, no, until we configure router 1. So as you can see, destination host unreachable. I'm going to start R1, and I want you to tell me what should I do for R1 to configure R1. So I need you to give me all the instructions. So here we have R1, and I want you to tell me what command should I type to configure R1. Okay, the boot of R1 have finished. Okay, what will be the first command? So for example, I want to change the name of this router. In this moment, its name is router. I want to change its name in R1. So what should I do? Okay, before I do that, I need, in which mode are we in this moment? This is the user mode, no? In the user mode, I cannot type the command host name. So I need to type enable. With enable, I go to the privilege mode. I need to type configure terminal. With configure terminal, I'm in the global configuration mode. And only in the global configuration mode, I can type host name R1. So look at, it is already reflected on the prompt. It is not called router anymore. It is called R1, and I'm in the global configuration mode. Okay, let's say that I want to configure this interface, the Ethernet 1.0. So what should I do? Let me see, we start PC3. So instead of ping PC4, I'm going to ping PC3. So the IP address of PC3 is 172.30. So 172.30, it will not work, of course, because we have not configured R1 for now. So how do I continue the configuration of R1? I want to configure Ethernet 1.0. So I need to go inside this interface, in the interface configuration mode, no? So for that, I type interface. The type of the interface, it's an Ethernet interface, and the number. The number is 1/0. The prompt have changed to tell me you are not in the global configuration mode anymore. You are in the interface configuration mode. All the commands that I type will affect this interface, not the other two ones. Just this interface, the Ethernet 1/0. So I need to put an IP address. So the command is IP space address 1721. Okay, this interface I have 1721, and then mask is /24. So 255.255.255.0. Okay, I already put an IP address. By default, in a router, the interfaces are disabled. To enable them, I have to type no shutdown. So this interface is up. Now, okay, look at, I have a message saying that the interface state changed to up. And if I go back to the privilege mode and I type show IP interface brief, I will have a summary of the table of interfaces. And as you can see, the interface Ethernet 10 have this IP address, and it is up, which means it is okay. Now the ping still don't work because I have not configured this interface, no? So there is no way for PC1 to ping PC3, but as soon as I configure Ethernet 11, the ping will work. So let me continue. Configure terminal to go to the global configuration mode, interface Ethernet 1/1. We are in this interface now. So all the command that I'm going to type will affect this interface. So I need to specify its IP address with IP address 1731. And the net mask is 255.255.255.0. Okay, 1731/24. So the ping still doesn't work. Why? Because the interface is disabled, is shut down. So I need to type no shutdown. As soon as I type no shutdown, the ping is going to start working. So as you can see, I type no shutdown. The interface, there is a message that says the interface went up, and look at the ping started to work. It doesn't say destination was unreachable anymore. The ping is working, okay? Because I already configured this interface and this interface. Now, let me ping again to PC4. So PC4 is 29040. Of course, it will not work because first I have not put the IP address here. R2 is not on. So there are many reasons why this ping, why PC1 cannot reach PC4. First, we need an IP address here. So we are going to do it. In this moment, I have to go to the fast Ethernet 00. So look at this technology is Ethernet. And this technology is fast Ethernet. Ethernet is 10 Mbps, 10 megabits per second. Fast Ethernet is 100 Mbps, 100 megabits per second. So I'm going to go to the fast Ethernet 0/0, which is this interface. And I'm going to put an IP address. IP address 10.0.0.1. And it's a /30, as you can see here. So I'm going to put 255.255.255.252. And no shutdown. Of course, the ping is still going to fail, no? Because of course, if R2 is not on, there is no way. In this moment, PC1 send it to R1. But R1 don't send it to R2 because we have not teach R1 about this network. So there is something additional that we will have to do in R1. Okay, I'm going to power on R2. So here is R2. I just power it on. I'm going to double click on its console. So it will do the power on self-test. We'll check all the hardware and we'll load the operating system from the flash memory to the RAM memory. So it's still booting. Okay, we are done. So now I want to configure R2. So I want to put a name in R2, enable, configure terminal, and host name R2. So as you can see, the prompt already reflects that the name of it changed to R2. Okay, so I want to put an IP address in this interface of the router. And this IP address is going to be 10.0.0.2. /30. So can you help me please with that? What should I do? So I need to go in the interface configuration mode of this interface because R2 have 1, 2, 3, 4 interface that we need to configure, no? So I'm going to go interface fast Ethernet 0/0 because this interface is the fast Ethernet 0/0 of R2. Now that I am in, and I can see the prompt say that you are in the interface configuration mode, I can configure this interface of R2. So I will put IP address on the IP address that I need, which is 10.0.0.255.255.255.252. No, it's a /30. And type no shutdown. Okay, so this interface will go up. It just went up. As you can see, we have a message saying that the state has changed up. We can configure this interface, the Ethernet 2.0 of R2. So let me exit this interface. I came back to the global configuration mode, and I'm going to go to the other interface, to the Ethernet 2.0. So Ethernet 2.0. Now that I am in the interface configuration mode for this interface, the 2.0, I can specify its IP address, which is 2901/25. So IP address 2901/25, which is 255.255.255.128, and no shutdown. So I've configured this interface and this interface. And the ping still does not work. Do you have an idea why the ping still does not work? So I'm going to look at the routing table of R1. To look at the routing table of R1, I can use the command show IP route. This routing table will have knowledge, a partial knowledge. They will only, of the topology, they will know this network, they will know this network and this network, but they will not know remote network. For R1, this network is a remote network. This network is another remote network. This network is another remote network. This is another remote network, and this is another remote network. So R1, for now, does not know about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 remote network. So let's see the routing table of R1, and it will only have 3 entries. And this entry will appear with a C for directly connected. So here is the routing table. So if you look, we have 3 entries with a C. So this is the first entry, the second entry with a C, and the third entry with a C. And here, C means directly connected. So for example, R1 is directly connected to the network 10.0.0.0/30 through this interface. So let's verify it. Look at here. There is a directly connected to the network 10.0.0/30 through the interface fast Ethernet 0/0, which means that R1 can reach R2 on this IP address. I can try it. For example, I'm in R1 and I can type ping 10.0.0.2 and it should work. So we should see exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. Remember, a dot is a failure and an exclamation is a success, no? If you want to do it more than 5 times, remember we have the parameter repeat, and for example 100 times, and it will do it 100 times, and as you can see, we have 100 success. So yes, from R1, I can ping this IP address. I will not be able to ping 2901 for now. If I try, you will see, let me do it, you will see dot, dot, dot 5 times. So let me try 2901 on first dot, second dot, which means a failure, a third failure, a fourth failure, and a fifth failure. Okay, as you can see. Why R1 is not able to ping the 2901 interface of R2? So let's see the routing table. Let's continue with the routing table. The routing table have entry for R1 about these two networks. So here we have network 172.0/24, which is directly connected for R1 on Ethernet 1.0. So let's see. Here we have 172.0/24, which is directly connected on Ethernet 1.0. So it means that R1 will know how to reach PC3. And if I try to ping PC3, it will work. Ping 172.30, and we will have 5 exclamation mark. So in the routing table of R1, I also have this one, which correspond to the network where is PC1 and PC2. So it's the 1730/24. So if you look, 1730/24 is directly connected on Ethernet 1/1. So this tell R1, if you want to reach PC1 or PC2, the packet must exit this interface. And you don't send it to another router, you send it directly to PC1 and PC2. So this entry tell R1, if you want to reach PC3, which is in the network 1720, you send it through Ethernet 1.0, as you can see, and you send it directly to PC3. And this entry say that if you want to reach any device in the common network, which is the 10.0.0.0/30, it needs to go out fast Ethernet 0.0. As you can see, it needs to go out fast Ethernet 0.0. And you send it directly to the destination. But there is no entry for network 290. This is the network 2900. There is no entry. So I need to put a static entry. I need to complete the routing table of R1. Look at the routing table of R1. In this moment, it's just this local area network, this local area network, and this local area network. So there are some commands that will allow us to complete the routing table. I'm going to show you how we are going to do that. So configure terminal, and the command is called IP route. With the command IP route, I'm going to add static route to the routing table. So I want to tell R1, if you want to reach the network of PC4, you have to exit this interface and send it to R2. So look at what I am going to do. If you want to reach the network of PC4, so the network of PC4 is the 2900 network /25, which is 255.255.255.128. So I'm going to tell it, you need to exit interface 00 and send it to IP address 10.0, send it to IP address 10.0.0.2. You understand that? Look at IP route. If you want to reach this network, which is the network where is PC4, you need to the packet need to exit fast Ethernet 00, and you cannot send it directly to PC4. So you need to send it to a router that will help us, which is R2. And the IP address of R2 is 10.0.0.2. So I'm going to type that. If I look at the routing table of R1, now we will have an additional entry with S. S for static. So look at S here is static, and it is there. So look at it say if you want to reach the network 2900/25, you need to exit this interface, which is the fast Ethernet 00, and send it to 10.0.0.2. So now R1 know what to do if you want to reach PC4. Now, The ping still doesn't work. Why do you think the ping still doesn't work? Here we have the ping from PC1 to PC4. So PC1 send it to R1. R1, since the routing table have information, send it to R2. R2 do send it to PC4. So look, if I look here, let me go to PC4. Let me show you that PC4 do receive the echo request. So let me sit in front of PC4 by opening the console. I will enter here, and I will use a tool that is called TCP dump. So size 0, interface ETH0. And look, ETH0. Yeah. Let me see if I have my IP address. I do have it. Did I ping the correct one? 29040. Oh, in R2, did we do, let me see, in R2, the routing table show IP route 290, yeah, so it does have it. I'm kind of surprised I don't see them. Should see them. Let me try to ping my default gateway. My default gateway is 2901. I can ping my default gateway. On my interface is ETH0, yes. So interface ETH0. Wow. Let me see something. So strange. Let me capture here. If we see the echo request, we should see echo request. So this is a tool. You see, we see the echo request. We see it. Let me stop capturing here. This is a tools that we have here that we will not have in reality, no? In a real network. You see, here I should see echo request, echo reply. Oh, I do see echo request, echo reply. So if I see echo request, echo reply, why PC4 when I ask? Oh, I see. Here it does show. So maybe I do verbose. These verbose will change something. This is maybe another version of TCP dump. Well, they do arrive. So the problem is in PC in R2. Can you help me with the problem? What do you think we should do in R2? There is another tool that is called T-Shark, but I didn't install it, so unfortunately. And I am root here. Yes, I'm root. Let me try another tool. There is one that is called ngrep. Ngrep, this interface. So I can see that I received something, verbose. Yeah, but it doesn't show me the information. Okay, it's too basic. Okay, what is the problem? What do you think is the problem? I can tell you the problem is in R2. So an echo request will go from PC1 to R1, from R1 to R2, and from R2 to R4 to PC4. PC4 will send an echo reply to R2. What will happen in R2? R2 need to send it to PC1. Does R2 know what to do to send it to PC1? So if you look at the routing table of R2, it knows this network because we already configured this network, and it knows this network. You see, for example, the 2900/25 is this network, and it is directly connected on the Ethernet 2.0. And the 10.0.0.0/30 is there, and it is directly connected on Fast Ethernet 0.0. But R2 doesn't know about the network of PC1. So we need to type a command in R2 to tell R2, oh, there is a network. You are not directly connected to it. It's why you don't know it, which is this network. And I have to teach R2 what to do to reach this remote network. So what should I type here in R2? So I need to type a command IP route. To type a command IP route, I need to be in the global configuration mode, no? So the command will be IP route. I'm telling R2, if you want to reach this network, so how do we identify this network? The network where is PC1 and PC2. Is the network 1730/25. So 255, 255, 2550. So if you want to reach this network, what should R2 do? R2 have several interfaces. The packet will have to go out which interface? The Ethernet 2.1, the Fast Ethernet 1.0, the Ethernet 2.0, or the Fast Ethernet 0.0? Which one of the four? I need you to answer, please. Well, yeah, 0.0, which one? So an interface is always a type and then a number. Exactly, it will be Fast Ethernet 0.0. So I have to tell it, go out Fast Ethernet 0.0. Is this enough? And I need to tell it, send it to R1. Go up this interface and send it to R1. So to tell it, send it to R1, I need an IP address of R1. So I will say, send it to 10.0.0.1. 10.0.0.1 is this IP address of R1. R1 have 1, 2, 3 IP address. I use this one because this one is directly connected to R2. So as soon as I hit enter here, the ping should start working because R1 know how to reach this network, and now R2 know how to reach this network. So I'm going to hit enter and look at the ping. Started working because the router know to do what to do with the packet now. So the packet to go from PC1 to PC4 makes some hop. The first hop is go from PC1 to R1, then R1 forward it to R2, then R2 send it to PC4. This is the echo request. In the echo reply, the source is PC4. PC4 send it to R2. R2 forward it to R1. And R1 send it to PC1. This is the echo reply. So as you can see, we have hop. We call that hop. So now let's say that I want to reach PC6. Let's do the minimum that we have to do to reach PC6. So let me ping the IP address of PC6. So what is the IP address of PC6? It is there. It's 34760. Of course, it's not going to work because router 3 is not on and PC6 is not on. So let me go to GNS3, start PC6. Okay, so PC6 will be on, and it's already configured. So I don't have to worry about the configuration of PC6. I need to start router 3 and start configuring router 3 on what is left of router 2. Because in this moment, router 2 knows some network. How many network router 2 know in this moment? So if you look, we have 1 network, 2 network, 3 network, 4 network, 5 network, 6 network, 7 network, 8 network. In this moment, R2 know how many of these 8 network. You have knowledge of how many? Only 3. Because we configure this interface, so you know this network. We configure this interface, so you know this network. And we type a command IP route for this network. So R2 know 1, 2, 3 network, no more. So if I look at the routing table of R2, we'll have 3 entries, no? 2C and 1S. 2C for directly connected, and 1S, the static one that I typed. So if I want the ping from PC1 to PC6 to be successful, of course, I need to configure this interface in R2. If I don't configure this interface, there is no way that what PC1 sent to R1, R1 will send it to R2, but R2 will not be able to send it to R3 because we didn't configure this interface. So we need to configure this interface, the fast Ethernet 1.0. So we go back to R2 and we are going to configure it. So configure terminal interface fast Ethernet 1.0, and I'm going to put an IP address, which is 10.0.0.5, as you can see. The network is 10.0.0.4. So one thing is the network address. Another thing is the valid IP address that I put on fast Ethernet 1.0. So I'm going to put 10.0.0.5, and the net mask is the /30, which is 255.255.255.252. And put no shutdown. So now if I look at the routing table of R2, it will know 4 network, 3C and a S. And the 3C directly connected is this one, and this one that I just configured, plus this remote network that we configured previously in R2. So now I need to configure R3 also. So let's go to R3. We already power on R3. So I'm going to type enable, configure terminal, hostname R3. Okay, I need for the ping from PC1 to PC6 to succeed, I need to configure this interface and this interface, the fast Ethernet 0.0 and the Ethernet 1.0. So let's go inside the fast Ethernet 0.0 and let's put the IP address. IP address 10.0.0.6. 255.255.255.252. No shutdown. So if I ask you, of the 8 network that we have here in this topology, at this point, how many network R3 know? If I look at the routing table of R3, how many entry I will have? Only 1. That will be this network, because we configured this interface. And this network, R3 is directly connected to it. It will appear with a C. So if I do show IP route, we'll have just one C. You see, we have just one C, and it's the network 10.0.0.4/30. 10.0.0.4/30. So of course, if I want the ping to succeed, I need to configure this IP, this network, which is on the Ethernet 1.0. So I'm going to do configure terminal interface Ethernet 1.0 and put an IP address, which is, in this case, 3.4.6.1.255.255.252. 254.0. No shutdown. If I look at the routing table of R3, we will have two entries, 2C. So now we have a new one that corresponds to the network 3460/23. And this network is connected on the Ethernet 1.0. Okay, as you can see here and here. So the ping still don't work. Why? So of course, if R3 know this network and this network, it's like R3 don't see this network. Because I didn't tell R3, oh, if you want to reach this network, you have to do that. So I need to tell R3, if you want to reach this network, because remember there will be a packet that go from R1 to PC6, from PC1 to PC6, sorry. And a packet back, which is called a reply, from PC6 to PC1. So I need to tell R3 that there is a network that exists, which is the 1730. It doesn't know, because it is not directly connected to it. So I'm going to go in R3 and tell it about this remote network. So configure terminal IP route. If you want to reach, I am in R3. If you want to reach this network, which is the 1730/24, the packet have to exit your fast Ethernet 0/0, and you have to send it to R2, which is 10.0.0.5. 10.0.0.5. So now R3 have knowledge about how to reach this network, and it's able to forward it to R2. So still doesn't work. Why? We have not taught R2 about this network. So R2 know this network, know this network, know this network, and know this network. So we have a C, a C, a C, and a S. Let me show you the routing table of R2. 3C and a S. So you see C, C, C for directly connected, saying that R2 know this network, know this network, know this network, and R2 also know this network. But R2 doesn't know this network. So look at what will happen. When PC1 want to send to PC6, PC1 send to the router. Oh, by the way, router 1 also don't know about this network. So we have two problems. We have a problem in router 1 and we have a problem in router 2. So look, if I look at in router 1, let me show you the routing table. It doesn't know about this network, the 3460/23. R1 know about this network, this network, this network, and this remote network, where PC4 is. Now I need to tell R1 that there is a remote network here. So let me tell R1 that. What will be the command? What will be the IP route command that I have to type here? I am in R1, and I want to tell R1 there is a remote network here. What should I type? So the command is always IP route, the network address, the network mask. So what is the network address? This network is the 3460. So I put 3460. The network mask, /23, 255.255.254.0. So if you want to reach this network, R1, what should you do? So we are R1. We need to go out this interface. So I'm going to tell go out fast Ethernet 0/0. And we need to send it to R2, which is 10.0.0.2. So I'm going to put here 10.0.0.2. So the ping, or the ping has started working already. Oh, okay, no, doesn't work. Thanks to God. So now R1 do know how to reach R2. Do know what to do when it have a packet for this network. Sorry. But R2 still don't know how to reach this network. We have not teach R2 that this network exists. So what should I do in R2? Let's see the routing table of R2 first. Look, it doesn't have any information for the 3460/23 network. So let me put it. IP route 3460/255/255/254.0. This is the remote network that I want to teach R2. So what should R2 do if he have to reach this remote network? It have to send it out which interface? Of the 4 interfaces that we have here, which one? I want you to tell me. I don't think you don't know. You do know. So it have to go out. Huh? Which interface? Fast Ethernet 10. I am R2. If I want to reach this network, I need to go out this interface and send it to R3. So R3 is 10.0.0.6. As soon as I do that, I think the ping should work because I think everybody knows everything. So let's do it. Still not work. So there is something else. Let me see. I think R2 know everything. Let's verify. Show IP route. R2 know about the 1730, which is this one, correct? And R2 know about the 1460. So R2 is well configured. Let's see. R1, we did put it. So is it in R3 maybe? Oh, something is missing maybe in R3? Yeah, I think so.
What time do we need to begin the quiz?
It's 20 minutes quiz. It's 40 minutes quiz, so we have to start it at 20. So I'm surprised. Let me see. Show IP route. Do we know 10.0.0.5? Yeah, so ping. Look, we need to do troubleshooting. I am in R3. I'm going to try to ping to R2, which is 10.0.0.5. It does work. I'm going to try to ping to 1731. 1731. And it doesn't work. Let me see if it has something for 1731. It does have it. So it will send it. It will send it. So look what we can do here. Let me try again. Let me capture here to see when I send from R3, the ping arrive or doesn't arrive. So I start a capture here. That's a good exercise. I wish we have more time to check it. We have the request, but we don't have the reply. You see, we have the request, but we don't have the reply. So the problem is in R1. So like R1, don't have the information of the remote network. Let me see that. The remote network. Oh. Okay. We should spend more time on it. Unfortunately, we don't have time. So let's do the quiz. So I will ask you,